Last time on the Salty Dog, the crew departed from Honokohau Harbor and headed to Uniform B, south of Kona, Hawaii. Captain Mitch Latoff, Captain Steve Epstein, and angler Lauren Miller knew the fish were biting.
That's a nice fish down there. We're looking for grandmama. Here it comes.
They hooked a large Pacific blue marlin.
I won't let her get close. Close enough.
After a 20-minute brawl, the fish threw the hook.
She must have been off when she jumped over, huh?
I guess.
And said goodbye. They didn't have to wait too long for their second strike.
There he is!
This time, it was a mean ahi, a yellowfin tuna. After a deep dive, Lauren managed to get it to the boat, and it took two to pull this one in. A fish big enough to feed an army.
Ha!
Has lost a blue and boated an ahi. Despite the first loss, they're feeling good so far.
Gotta go get an official weight on it. Looks, 140 or better, so we're stoked.
The Salty Dog heads north up the Kona coast. It's one last effort as the day rapidly draws to a close. Tagging another marlin would be the icing on the cake today. There are informational tags as well as satellite tags that are used to learn more about the marlin's migration habits and where they spend most of their time in the water column. Now the crew can only play one game, the waiting game. Nearly 2 hours pass by. The hits keep on coming. A marlin can take out 1,000 yards of line in about 45 seconds. And this marlin happens to snatch the lure off the long rigger. Captain Mitch backs down on the marlin, and it's like riding the log flume at the water park.
Go.
Captain Steve's experience as a wireman is all too evident.
Okay.
He's been doing this for a long time and serves as a mentor to Captain Mitch. It's a quick and precise tag in the marlin's shoulder by Captain Mitch. Estimated weight of the marlin, 200 pounds. The best part about fishing is catching. Game over.
Good job, girl.
Can we go home now?
Yeah.
Three nice fights today. Time to weigh the ahi on the scales. This ahi weighs in at 147 pounds, and it's one of Lauren's smaller fish.
Baby marlin, a tough, voracious little buggers. I was once bitten by a 1-inch marlin. I was following it too close while I was filming. It started putting its fins up in this kind of menacing fashion. I put my finger out, and the little thing came up and bit me, just started biting me. I could hardly feel it, but I was astonished at its audacity and boldness. Marlin are hungry from the time they hatch, and food availability determines their size. They start off eating copepods, microscopic crustacean larvae. Then at about 7 days old, they graduate to flying fish and mahi-mahi larvae. They will even eat each other. There is a jump in their growth rates as soon as they start eating fish. And this continues as they keep growing as they eat larger and larger fish. A marlin's oral gape is quite large, which means for their size, they can gulp down remarkably large fish. The mouth of a 1,000-pounder is downright scary. The local fishermen swear that the smaller striped marlin will leave town when the big blues turn up. I mean, a 1,500-pound blue marlin can easily swallow a 150-pound stripey. Males generally grow slower than females and hit a point where they stop growing, usually around 300 pounds. But females get huge. We still don't know how big they get, and they could have indeterminate growth, meaning that as long as they keep eating, they're going to keep growing. I'm often asked, how old is a 1,000-pound marlin? Well, it depends. Depends on the water it's been in, the temperature, and the food availability. But generally, a 1,000-pound marlin would be about 25 to 30 years of age. That's a little bit older than me.
Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii is brought to you by the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your dream getaway now on the Big Island of Hawaii. Farish Media. From concept to completion, we turn ideas into images. By the Hawaii Island United Way, building a healthier community. And by Salty Dog Sport Fishing Charters. Join the crew for the best sport fishing in Hawaii. It's another stunning day in beautiful Kailua Kona, Hawaii. It's here that you can fish for colossal Pacific blue marlin, minutes from the harbor. Today's captain is Big Daddy. Joining him is daughter Ashton Latoff and family friend Leslie Fuller. Big Daddy has high expectations for the day.
Oh, we're going to catch fish. I feel it. I feel good today. It's a beautiful day. The water's nice and calm. It just feels like a good day to catch fish.
In addition to their experience, they have another big advantage, their boat. The Salty Dog is a 31-foot Bertram, ocean tested for nearly 40 years, with a rich history of catching big blue marlin. And there's another factor working in their favor today. Many of the other boats from the harbor are in the local tournament.
It doesn't start till 8 o'clock. By getting out here earlier, we're not fishing the tournament this weekend. We kind of got a jump on the other boats. The run between the harbor and Red Hill, if you're one of the first boats out, you get a little more action. It's only 7:45 now, so the other boats haven't even left the harbor. So I'm hoping by making this run, maybe we can find that fish that's been laying out here all night. First thing in the morning's ready to eat something.
The Salty Dog arrives at Red Hill, about 12 miles south of Honokuhau Harbor. It doesn't take long for the first bite of the day. It's a strike off the long rigger. Ashton grabs the rod. Big Daddy clears the lines along with Leslie. You could call this a fish warm-up.
Mahi-mahi.
On a 130-pound test line, And with some muscle and technique from Ashton, it only takes about 3 minutes to get it to the boat.
Yep.
Don't kill it, it's too little.
You want to turn him loose, Ash?
Yeah, it's a baby.
This is a feisty one.
He's not going to let us let him go, Ash.
Too risky to pull the hook while this fish is agitated, so it's onto the deck for a safer maneuver. Once he settles down,
Now you want to let him go?
Is it still good and alive?
Yep.
Well, then yeah.
it's a tiny one, about 10 to 12 pounds,
Hi.
so it's back in the water. Get bigger, little fishy.
Yeah, it was a baby.
But their day isn't over yet.
We are the only family in Kona or anywhere in the world that has 3 generations that have caught granders as captains. Everyone in our family just loves fishing. From my mother to my sisters to my wife to my kids. If they can go fishing every day, they would. One of the keys to being a good captain or crew is to be able to try new things and adjust to the situations as they come every day. Typically there's 1 or 2 granders caught a year, and we had been in a drought for 3 years, and we broke that drought by catching this grander. That morning I had a customer that was a first-time customer with me. He had said he had fished like 3 other times, never caught a fish. During the summer, I don't fish on the grounds. And that particular day, they were catching a lot of tunas up there. And on that day, we went up there, we caught 2 8-pound skipjack tunas, put them out, and made 1 pass up the ledge. The first pass up the ledge, one of the baits went off. We struck the fish and it came up jumping, and Fran thought the fish was about 300. I thought it was about 600. And after 2 hours, the angler couldn't finish it. And so Brian jumped off his boat, swam over to our boat, and finished the fish off. We had measured the fish out, and it measured to be pretty close to being a grander. When we got into the dock, there were people everywhere, and when the fish went 10-19, it was my first grander as a captain. I went to the grounds 1 day that whole summer and caught that fish. It's a blessing that I get to go fishing every day. It's what I'm going to do till I can't do it anymore.
Ashton has just pulled in a mahi-mahi. It's a small one, so it's back to the sea for this one. Big Daddy maneuvers the salty dog along the ledge near Red Hill, a favorite for many captains. Expectations here are normally high.
You know, some days the fish are on the 500 fathom line, sometimes they're feeding a 700 fathom, so we're going to kind of zigzag in and out, see if we can make a determination of where the fish are feeding today, and then work that line once we figure that out.
Traveling along the coast, the salty dog passes Kealakekua Bay, a magnificent marine life sanctuary. They also pass Pu'uhonua o Honaunau, also known as the City of Refuge, a national park of major cultural and historical significance to the Hawaiian people. It's one of the most beautiful and awe-inspiring places to visit on the island of Hawaii. The salty dog is along the 300 fathom line. Big Daddy catches a small fin approaching the lure on the long corner.
Little fish.
And it bites.
All right, get that one.
They don't know what it is because the fish stays beneath the surface, but it's bigger than the mahi-mahi caught earlier.
Spearfish. Y'all want some fish to eat?
Spearfish probably weighs about 30, 35 pounds. Not too big.
So far, the call to get out early has paid off.
The first fish of that series of 4 fish over a grand was the biggest fish I've ever seen and probably will ever seen. And we were on an overnighter down south. There had been pilot whales there. We'd seen thresher sharks. The bad porpoise were there. So you couldn't bait, so we left. We come back, put 2 baits in the water. Marlin's on the bridge and Steve and I are on the deck and just standing around, and all of a sudden Marlin yells, "Frigging pilot whale's gonna eat the short one." Both baits were on the surface. And I look at the short bait and all I catch is the back third of the fish's profile. And I'm like, there's no way that's a fish. The short bait comes out of the peg, nothing happens, doesn't come tight. Steve's over there winding on it, trying to see what's happening, and the long one goes off. So we try to come tight with the long one, nothing happens. Bait's smashed, but it's skipping in on the surface dead, and he yells free spool, and this thing comes up and eats it from behind. In the meantime, she's taking us from this buoy, I don't know how far south it is, takes us into the ledge to the Ahikoa. And I'm like, well, she's looking for something to eat because she's hungry again. So we decide to walk it out. She walks us out, she follows like a dog. And we're spinning 20-knot circles on this fish, yanking in every direction possible. Doesn't phase this fish, goes and puts her head down. And we're spinning in circles and pirouettes with her head down without taking an inch of line in the direction we're spinning. And then we'd yank on her and pull away from her. She'd come to the surface, and then she'd charge the boat, and you had to get out of her way or you'd cut it off. And she'd go back down and park herself at the transom. At about 21 hours into it, she makes her first jump. 20 yards behind the boat, makes a head lunge going away. Comes up a second head lunge, turns her head to the boat. I mean, we're looking in her eye. It's like she's looking at us going, puts her head back down and swims away, and we're just like, third or fourth time we back up to her, she's gone down. And he stops it, tried to plane it, and we finally get the stretch out, and I start to gain a little bit of an angle. Broke. 23 hours later. And then it was a long troll home.
Aloha, this is Captain Mitch. Have a question about sport fishing? Post it on Facebook.com/SaltyDogHawaii, and I'll answer. Please include your first name and where you're from.
Salty Dog Sport Fishing Hawaii is brought to you by the Hawaiian Islands. Plan your dream getaway now on the Big Island of Hawaii. Farish Media. From concept to completion, we turn ideas into images. By the Hawaii Island United Way, building a healthier community. And by Salty Dog Sport Fishing Charters. Join the crew for the best sport fishing in Hawaii. Next time on the Salty Dog, a busy day isn't over yet for Big Daddy, Ashton, and Leslie.
That's always been a traditional last place you go before you go in.
One more stop up the coast pays big dividends.
Yeehaw!
A Pacific blue marlin is always the prized catch here in Kona waters.
Finally got one.
But marlins are mean, and so is Ashton as the battle heats up.
Come on, pull back so I can reach it.
And how keen is a marlin's eyesight?
Recently, there have been major breakthroughs in their understanding of vision in billfish. The most amazing fact about marlin's vision is, although they see these colors very well, it is only when they look ahead or up. If they look down, they see only in black and white.
Also, the guys get in on the action as Fairhope, Alabama native Brinson Holder plays a tug-of-war with a Hawaii native, a big blue marlin. Then, a special story about one of Kona's fishing pioneers, Captain George Parker.
So in 1948, he started off, kind of worked out of Kona Inn. His deal was to go out and catch big marlin, bring them back to Kailua Pier, put them in a truck, take them around to Kona Inn, hang them up on a palm tree, and all the people at the bar would come out, and that's how he started his charter business.
A man who loved his family, served his community, fished and dined with the Hollywood stars, helped create a new marina. He set a world record and fought to gain recognition of the Pacific blue marlin as a new species, and saved a few lives along the way. It's action, science, history, and a boat full of fun.
Yeah! That's what fishing in Kona is all about.
Next time on The Salty Dog.
I don't think I've ever put a shirt on so fast in my life.